Well, even though the stats were not eye-popping for Josh Allen and Buffalo's win over the Ravens, the divisional round on Sunday, Allen was in control of the game, rushed for 2 touchdowns, making his second career AFC Championship game appearance. Bills, by the way, 10-0 at home this season. That ties a franchise record. Here's their head coach, Sean McDermott, in the locker room after the game.
That's 10-0. 10-0 at home this year. Doesn't matter, man. We just figure it out. You find a way to win. That's what great teams do, man. Heck of a job. Congrats. AFC Championship game coming up this week, baby, in Kansas City.
And our Bills reporter Dave Naylor now joins us from Orchard Park, New York. Dave, great to see you. You look perfectly warm. So much of the conversation going into this game was about whether this Bills defense could stop this high-powered Baltimore Ravens offense. What can you say about the performance from the Bills defense on Sunday?
Well, I thought it was pretty strong, particularly during the first half, and they really set the tone early in Baltimore's possessions when Derrick Henry, unlike a week ago against Pittsburgh and unlike week 4 when they ran all over the Buffalo Bills, they didn't get out of the gate strong. The Buffalo defense really set that tone, and you saw them making some adjustments, coming out of their base 2-linebacker defense, taking Taron Johnson, their slot corner, out on selected downs, and playing 3-linebacker to try to match up with Baltimore's heavy personnel better. Now, they gave away something in some of the pass game during the course of the game, but I think they knew if you're going to stop Baltimore, if you're going to beat Baltimore, you're going to have to slow that run game. And at the start of the game, if you said, hey, the Bills are going to hold Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry to under 125 yards, I think they would have taken that. Now, there were some times they couldn't get off the field, but you know what's bailed this team out all season? Turnovers, Jay. The Bills were number 1 in the NFL during the regular season, plus 24. In this game, they're plus 3. Of course, the big one coming from Terrell Bernard when he does that peanut punch to Mark Andrews in the middle of the field. The Bills turn that into 3 points, and ultimately, that's the 8-point difference that helped them stand up to the end of the game when the Ravens had to go for that 2-point conversion, and Andrews couldn't hang on. So overall, I think a much maligned Bills defense for so the way they played some of the games down the stretch. That's 2 consecutive pretty strong playoff games from them.
Yeah, and, you talk about Josh Allen. If you looked at the stat line, Dave, it might not look that spectacular, but he did not turn the ball over, and at the end of the day, he got the job done. What did you like about his game on Sunday?
Well, I think that he played to win. I mean, so much of the conversation of going into this game, the Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, it made it sound like it was going to be a tennis match with these 2 guys just out there hitting the ball at each other. This is football. This is a team game. And, yeah, Josh Allen throws for 127 yards and doesn't have a touchdown pass. I think a lot of times people would say, my goodness, what happened to the Bills on that day? Well, I think one of the things, the development of this offense, really since the middle of last season when Joe Brady took over as the offensive coordinator, was to be able to win games any way they need to. And Allen mentioned that one of the reasons they didn't throw the ball as much in this was because they were getting those turnovers and getting short fields. They felt confident they could run it with James Cook. Ultimately, the balance for the Bills, they became the first NFL team in history this year to score 30 touchdowns rushing and 30 passing. Well, look at the balance against the Ravens today. 127 yards passing, 127 yards rushing. They also went away from their everyone eats mentality that we've talked about all season. This was more like Khalil Shakir eats. I mean, nobody else beyond him had more than 15 yards receiving. I think ultimately when they got into a game in these conditions where the margin for error was going to be thin, Josh Allen relied on the 2 players that he trusts most in the offense. Those are James Cook and Khalil Shakir.
Now the Bills have to go through the Chiefs again. The Chiefs have knocked them out 3 of the past 4 postseasons. How do you think the Bills are feeling going into this game Sunday at Arrowhead?
I think they're going in feeling pretty good for a couple of reasons. One, they've just avenged the loss that was really the only big blemish on their season, 35-10, losing to Baltimore back at the end of September. Over the course of the season, they beat the team that was the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Detroit Lions, who are now, of course, out of the playoffs. They also beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think, especially, you look at the way, go back to the fact that the Bills can play any sort of game. I think they feel that, Kansas City's offense certainly is not on a great roll. I don't think anybody who watched that game against Houston sees that's unstoppable. And I just don't think the Bills fear any defense. Another good example today, the Ravens' top run defense metrically in the NFL, and the Buffalo Bills ran it right at them for over 100 yards. So I think they're going to Kansas City feeling like this is the opportunity they've earned. They've proven they can do it in the regular season on multiple occasions. Now they got to get it done in the playoffs.
So the Bills are off to Arrowhead next Sunday to face the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and this guy, Dave Naylor, will be there, and we'll talk to him right after the game. Dave, thanks for this. Go somewhere, get warm up a little bit. Let's talk about this big matchup next Sunday. Kansas City, currently a slim 1.5-point favorite, attempting to win an NFL record 3 straight Super Bowls. Buffalo making their second AFC title game appearance in the Josh Allen era. You can see the game on TSN Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time.